Hey everyone, welcome to Concatenate. My name is Ash, and this is my first video, apart from the introduction video I created. This is the first video on my channel, so welcome. Today we will be talking about getting started with cybersecurity. Now, as a student, I will be giving you pointers based on what I've learned and what you should be learning or getting started with as a student yourself, or just someone who's interested in the field. If you want to get started in cybersecurity, these are some crucial things that you must know about which will help you in the future. So, getting started is pretty simple. You need to know a few things. First of which is you must know programming. Now that might sound a little intriguing, it might sound a little difficult, but it's not that bad, guys. I mean, you get started with something simple like Python. There's a bunch of tutorials online that I can show you resources for, where you can learn said programming languages. It doesn't take that long. It's easy to understand once you've got the grasp of it, which I'm sure you will once you get started. So, number one, let me just open up a quick notepad file here. I will link this to a pastebin link or something where you can download this, by the way, if you want to do that. So, getting started with cybersec. Number one, programming. Very important. Now we're looking at Python first because it's easy and you can learn Python online from a various amount of resources. One of them is W3 Schools, which is my personal favorite. It is amazing. You've got other websites as well, which I've never really bothered checking out. You can use, YouTube tutorials. There's a bunch of tutorials from Free Code Camp, I think, which you can use. This is what I've learned from, but mostly what I've learned is from W3 Schools because it's a brilliant resource for doing this. Number two, you need to be good with Linux. Now, Linux is a term you might have heard quite a bit when it comes to cybersecurity, or just a general term in computer science. What exactly is Linux? Linux is an operating system. Windows is an operating system. Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 8, if you're still using that, is an operating system. So Linux is also similarly an operating system. Now it's got a mouse, it's got a desktop. I hope you like my wallpaper, by the way. It's got a desktop, it's got a taskbar, it's got icons, you can play games on it, you can listen to music on it, you can go to the websites on it, you can open browsers on it, you can click pictures on it. Everything that you can do in Windows, you can do on Linux. So what is it that makes Linux so special? Why is it so special? Well, the answer to that, ladies and gentlemen, is that it has freedom. Now, what do I mean when I say that Linux has freedom? Windows is something which is called as proprietary software, which means it's a property of the person that purchases it. Windows will not give you the source code or the code which is used to create it for free. Or not even for free. I mean, they're just not going to give it out no matter how much you pay them. They're not going to give you the source code. Linux, on the other hand, is open source. Open source means that it is created openly and the code is available online, so you can create your own version of Linux, basically. If you know the programming languages being used to create it, if you know a bit of creative programming, you can create your own version of Linux and give it your name. I can create Arch Linux if I want to. That's basically what open source means. You can see the code, you know exactly what's going on in the background, how it was made, what's the code for it, how you can change it. All of that stuff is available for free. No licenses, so you don't have to pay for Linux. Another thing, it's very lightweight. Now, when I say lightweight, it means in terms of storage. It takes up very less storage. Windows is a very heavy PC. A very heavy system, I should say, not PC. Windows 11, if you think about it, has all of these different animations and this beautiful taskbar and so many animations and extra things that it comes with. Microsoft stuff that takes up so much storage. It takes up quite a bit of your SSD or HDD hard drive, which is being used. Linux, on the other hand, is very lightweight. It comes with the most basic mouse, a basic picture in the background, no fancy animations. If you get a lightweight version. I mean, there are heavier versions of Linux, but the default one it comes with is lightweight. So you can install it on practically anything. It is very portable. You can install Linux on anything. If you're a gamer, you would know that the Steam Deck basically runs on Linux, which is why it's on a handheld thing. You can hold the Steam Deck in your hand and you can play because of the portability of Linux. You can install it on anything. You can install Linux on a smart fridge if you've got one. So basically, yeah, very portable, very lightweight, easy to install. Apart from that, we have the terminal. Now the terminal is what you must have seen in movies when you have seen hackers. When they're hacking, they're having this black screen that they type code into, and stuff like whatever. It just does things for them. There's a lot of green text coming up on the screen and all that stuff. All of that takes place within something called as a terminal. A terminal is just a place where you can type commands for your system to do things, and it will do them. So if you don't have access to a mouse, you can just open a terminal somehow and just type stuff in there, and you can do the same things that you can do with a mouse, like clicking on stuff or deleting things or creating files, stuff like that. Opening applications is also possible through the terminal. So it has a terminal and it's very easy. Now, but Arsh, you just opened a terminal on Windows. I mean, you've got PowerShell on Windows. Why would you need something like Linux? A lot of tools which are available are built natively for Linux. So hacking tools, to be specific, are built for Linux first. Some of them are cross-compatible, some of them can be used with Windows. Depends on the person that made them. If they build a Windows version of it, then you're good to go. But they natively build it first on Linux. So you get access to a lot of tools. We'll talk about this in the later part of the video, but you've got a lot of tools on it, and you can use those tools to do things and just run them and just get stuff done, basically. So, Arsh, you keep talking about Linux. Now, how do I get this Linux? I mean, do I have to buy another laptop or something? Oh no, you don't have to do any of that. Well, you see, Arsh, I've got a laptop and it's got Windows on it. So why can't I just use Windows? Why do I need to install Linux? Do I need another laptop? No, you don't. You can install Linux on your Windows PC. How? Well, there is something called as virtual machines. So we're taking a look at Kali. Now, Kali is a Linux distribution. It is a penetration testing distribution, to be specific. Penetration testing is basically you trying to hack into things to understand how people would hack them, and then finding those flaws and fixing them. That's penetration testing, ethical hacking. So Kali Linux is an open source, like we saw, Debian-based Linux distribution. Now we're going to talk about Debian in a bit. It's a Debian-based Linux distribution, and it is geared towards various information security tasks, such as penetration testing. So it's got tools available for penetration testing, for security research, for computer forensics, for reverse engineering, and all of these things. Now we're going to be talking about these in other videos, but yeah, it's got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of tools which are pre-installed within it. If you look at the background here, you can see it's got these terminal windows that I was talking about. It's got a file explorer, like you have the file explorer in Windows, right? So you've got the same thing here. And it's a basic operating system. I mean, it's got a desktop, it's got a mouse. You can do the same things you can do in Windows over here. But it's got some really special and amazing tools installed on it. So that's the ones we're after. So how do you install this, Kali? For this, we need something called VirtualBox. Now, what exactly is VirtualBox? VirtualBox is something which is used to run virtual machines. Virtual machines are basically, let me just show you a quick MS Paint thing where I'll try to do it. I'm not an artist, but yeah. So basically, we've got ourselves our PC, right? So this box right here, let's just pretend that, okay, this is your Windows 10 PC, okay? This is your Windows PC, and this Windows PC is used to, oh wow, that is not in the place. Yeah, okay. So this is your Windows PC, right? Oh my god. Sorry. This is your Windows PC, and I just typed window. Okay, whatever, you get it. This is Windows. Inside of this, you've got a lot of applications you can run, right? So you've got, what have you got? You've got whatever, Discord, you've got Google Chrome open here, you've got Notepad open here, you've got MS Paint open here. So these are all specific applications, right? Now, what if I tell you that Linux, the operating system, is something that you can open within one of these windows? So just like an application, you can open an entire operating system as one of these apps, which is going to be running on your Windows PC. So you have this one application, and this is your Kali Linux, basically. This is Kali Linux. It's an application which is running within your PC, and it's the whole operating system. You can use it right inside Windows. So that's what a virtual machine is. This will be called as a virtual machine. It's a machine, but it's virtual. It's inside your host machine, which as you would call Windows. Windows is the host, and this is the virtual machine. So we're going to be using VirtualBox to open this virtual machine as an application inside our Windows PC. So to download VirtualBox, well, how do you download it? I don't see a download button. Just click on this very obvious big blue download VirtualBox button. It should take you here. So we are on Windows right now, correct? So we have a Windows host because we have Windows as our host PC. So we're going to click on that. And this should download a setup file. Now you're going to use this setup file to install VirtualBox. So I've got it installed here already. I mean, downloaded here, sorry. We're going to install it now. This is what the setup looks like. Once you've got that, go to kali.org. Again, I'll give these links in the description so you can just go click on them and go over there. But kali.org, click on Get Kali at the top. And this should bring you to their downloads page. Now choose your platform. We are using virtual machines, so we're going to click on that. But there are a bunch of other ways you can install Kali as well, like on a USB. So you plug in the USB and it loads it up for you. You've got containers, so you can use Docker containers. That's another topic for another video. You can do that, and a bunch of other ways. So we're going to be using virtual machines, so we're going to click on that. And over here, you can see a bunch of options available. Now we are using VirtualBox, so we're going to click on the download button for VirtualBox. But Arsh, what is VMware? I mean, what is that? VMware is another application which is just like VirtualBox. It is used to run virtual machines. But the reason we are not choosing VMware today is because it's a paid application. You need a license to download VMware Pro, and once you have that, pay the money, get the license, and it's basically the same thing, but it's got like a different, nicer interface and stuff. But that's fine. We can choose VirtualBox since we're just starting off with Linux and virtual machines and stuff. So this is great for beginners. So we're going to go ahead and click on this download button here, and this should download the Kali Linux file on your PC. Now it's a 7Z file. It ends with a 7Z, means it's a 7-zip file. It's a zip file. So we're going to go ahead and download that. And while it is downloading, you can go ahead and click on the next link in the description, which will take you to rarlab.com. Now this is to download WinRAR. WinRAR is an application which is used to extract those RAR files. So since we have a 7Z application for Kali, we are going to be downloading the 7Z file, right, the zip file. So we're going to use WinRAR to open that file. So go to downloads and download this one on the top here. Now make sure that you get the graphical edition and not just the command line one, because we need the graphical edition for this. So we're gonna click on one of these links. Now 64-bit, if your PC is 64-bit, you can go ahead and click on that. Download the setup file, same as VirtualBox, just click run, next, run, install, whatever. Once that's done, it should have been installed on your PC. Let me just take a sip of water real quick. Been talking for quite a bit. Okay, so moving on, once you've got WinRAR, you can install that, and you will have these two main files which we will be needing. One of them is VirtualBox. Now I have VirtualBox open over here, so I'm going to close that real quick. But VirtualBox is one of them, and the zip file for Kali is going to be the other one. So we're going to go ahead and unzip this file. So right click on that file, and if you have installed WinRAR, you should see this WinRAR section over here, this drop down menu with these options. So we're going to go ahead and click on extract to and the name of that folder. So it's just going to extract it to the folder with the same name as the zip file. So I'm going to click on that. It should create a folder which has the same name as that zip file, and we're just going to wait for this to finish. So while this is running, let's install VirtualBox. Double click on that file, click yes for that user access control thing, and wait for the setup file to open. So it's going to open up the installer, and you should be able to run stuff from there. Just click next, thanks, install once again how you did it for WinRAR, and it should install VirtualBox on your PC. Now it's taking a bit for me because the extraction is taking place as well, so we're just going to wait for that to finish, and the setup should hopefully open then. You see guys, these videos are not scripted. I'm not having a script that I'm reading out of. I'm just speaking off the top of my mind. We might run into problems, errors I need to fix, so I might have to pause the video and fix them, but that's okay. Learning experience, that's what we're here for. Let's get this done. Almost done. Come on. I bet once this finishes, the installer thing's gonna open up. There you go. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? So welcome to VirtualBox setup. Click next. Now I've already got it, so should I remove it? Yeah, let's remove it. I'm just gonna install it once again for you guys to see how it's done. The files are currently in use. So what is that? Let's see. So this is running currently. Let me just open up my task manager and end this bad boy from running. VirtualBox interface is currently running. There it is. We're going to end these two. So I'm going to click on this. No, I'm not going to touch the other one because it doesn't show up in the list. So I'm just going to end this one. Click on that, end task. There you go. Click retry. And the installation has begun. Perfect. Now this shouldn't take more than a few seconds. So just wait for that to finish. Oh, sorry, this is the removal. Yeah, my bad. I'm going to install it. The installation shouldn't take more than a few seconds. So let's wait for this to finish. Come on. You can just skip ahead, to be honest, to the part where the actual installation takes place. There we go. That's done. Open it again. Yes. And now we're going to install. So click next. Leave all these options as they are. Click next. Any warnings come up, just click next. Next. Install. And it will install, so just give it a few seconds. Wait for this to finish. Okay, we're done. Now we're going to leave this checked. Don't uncheck this because we need to start VirtualBox anyways. So just let the installer do it for you. There we go. We have VirtualBox. Now this is what it looks like when you install it for the first time. Welcome to VirtualBox. The left part of the window contains the global tools and the list of virtual machines. You can add new virtual machines using the toolbar buttons. Yep. We're just going to be doing this exact thing right now. So now that we have our Kali Linux virtual machine extracted, we're going to click on add, because this virtual machine is already installed, which is why we didn't get like an ISO file, an image file. So to install virtual machines, you can use two ways. Now the first way is installation using ISO files. So if you're looking at something like Ubuntu or I don't know, Windows PCs, just actual virtual machines for these operating systems. Ubuntu is another Linux distribution, by the way, like Kali. It doesn't come installed with all the hacking tools, but it's basically the same thing if you think about it. So you can install Ubuntu as well if you want to, but you have to install the tools manually then. Ubuntu, Windows, all of these installations come as ISO files. So instead of downloading the 7-zip file, you're going to be downloading an ISO file, which is an image file. Oh, sorry. It's an image file. So to do that, you're going to be clicking on new, and you're going to select that ISO file from here and give it a name and stuff, and then you go through the actual installation of the operating system. But in our case, we don't have to do that because it's already pre-installed in this folder. We just need to add it to VirtualBox. So click on that. It's going to go ahead and ask you to, well, okay, select that file that is the virtual machine. So I'm going to go ahead and open that window. Let's do that. Once we're in, we're going to click on that folder. It has another folder, and we're looking for the VBox file. Now, if you open this folder normally, you can see a bunch of files. So we've got the VDI and VBox. Now, VBox is the file that we're looking for because that's the VirtualBox machine. So we're going to go ahead and select this and click open. And there we go. We have Kali Linux virtual machine added to our list of virtual machines on the left side. Now, before we start it, we're going to go ahead and change one setting, which is the RAM, because we need the virtual machine to run as fast as we can make it, right? So over here we have a bunch of options. Now we're going to click on system, and inside system you have base memory. Base memory is the RAM which is being used. Now these virtual machines, they use RAM, right? You're using your Windows PC, the host PC, it's using a bunch of RAM. So if you have 8 GB RAM in your PC, it's going to be fast. If you've got 16, it's going to be even faster. If you've got 32, it's going to be even faster. The more RAM you have, the faster your PC responds to you, the faster it boots up, basically. So my laptop currently has 16 GB of RAM, so I'm going to give this virtual machine 8 GB. So when we start this virtual machine, 8 GB of my computer's RAM is going to be allocated for use in this virtual machine. So it'll be like you're using an 8 GB laptop, basically, inside the virtual machine. So the more RAM you give it, the faster it'll be. But I recommend you give 50% of whatever you have. So if you've got a laptop with 8 GB RAM, just give it 4 GB. It's going to be slow, but come on, that's what you got, right? So just got to take your chances at that, mate. So we've got ourselves 16 GB, so I'm going to give it 8. And everything else should be left as it is. We don't need to change anything here. Just click on OK. And now you can start the virtual machine. Now this is going to open up this application thing which I talked about earlier. It's going to open up like another window. There you go. And this is your virtual machine. You can close anything that comes up on the side, notifications, delete them. And this is the boot menu. Now if you click inside this window, it's going to give you a warning that says, look, you've clicked your mouse inside the virtual machine. This will cause the virtual machine to capture the host mouse pointer, which means your mouse is not a Windows mouse anymore. It's the mouse which is being used inside your virtual machine, a Linux mouse. If you want to get outside of that virtual machine's mouse and be able to click stuff in your Windows again, just click on the right control key, which is your host key as known. Now remember that host key is right control, host key, right control, host key, right control. Remember it. Click on capture. Now I'll tell you why to remember it in a bit, but basically now that you're inside, you can see that the mouse disappears, and when you click on it, it doesn't really do anything. So just move your mouse outside of the window and just change Windows or something, come back into your Windows mode and make this full screen. So now that you're in, as you can see, my mouse changes the moment I bring it inside this window. And the virtual machine, for some reason, is not full screen. It's got this weird resolution. So in order to fix this, we're going to click on View at the top, inside our virtual machine window, go to Virtual Screen 1, and resize it to your laptop's resolution. So my laptop screen is 1920x1080, so I'm going to click on that. And that is going to make this virtual machine 1920x1080. Doesn't let me select it for some reason. Okay, let's log in first. So we're going to go ahead and log in. Now, what are the username and password? If you go back to the Kali Linux Virtual Machines website, you should be able to see that the default credentials are Kali for the username and Kali for the password. So just go back here, type in Kali and Kali as username and password. Click login. Now this should bring you to the Kali Linux desktop. As you can see, it's got a wallpaper, it's got some stuff, it's got the recycle bin as you might see on Windows, trash, file system, which is like my PC or this PC or whatever you call it, my computer, and the home folder. So this is a terrible resolution. Let's fix it. Go to view, virtual screen, and now it gives us the option to resize. So we're going to click on 192.1.0.80, and there we have it. We have successfully changed the resolution. But Arsh, this is still not enough. I want to use it in full screen. Well, of course you can do that. Go back up to view and click on full screen mode. Now the shortcut for full screen is host F. What is the host key? That's right, it's right control. So go to click on right control and F to get in and out of full screen mode. So click on that. Again, it's going to show you the same thing right here. Note that the host key is right control. So yep, good Windows warning information stuff. Click on switch, and now you're in full screen. So welcome to Kali, everyone. You now have a Linux distribution, a Linux operating system inside your Windows PC. It's running as an application inside your Windows PC. And you can run applications inside this. Like if you want to open Firefox to go to a website or something, google.com, click on that, and now you see you have opened Firefox inside the virtual machine. If you get your mouse to the bottom of the screen, by the way, you've got this little toolbar from VirtualBox that lets you change some settings, and the same menu that you saw at the top here is basically over here. So if you want to get out of the virtual machine's full screen mode manually, just click on this and it'll take you out. As you can see, we are running VirtualBox, which is running Kali, which in itself is running Firefox. So pretty cool, isn't it? Let's get back into full screen. And here we go. We have Linux. Now this button here is the most important thing, the terminal emulator. This is where the magic happens. This is where you will be doing all your hacking stuff, basically. You'll be running commands here, you will be getting the output here, and you will be doing 99% of your work right here. Everything you can do on Linux, you can do from the terminal if you want to. You can type commands for that specific thing, and you can do it from right here without using your mouse, anytime. If you click on this little start button thing up the top, applications, you can see a bunch of options here. So there's a lot of categorization being done, a lot of different folders being created for specific tools. So if you want to do wireless attacks, for example, you've got all of these tools that will help you with it. You've got AirCrackNG, which is a fantastic suite of tools, which we will take a look at in another video. These are for Wi-Fi hacking. We've got Wi-Fi, which is another good one. We've got Kismet, which is another good one. Reaver, all of these basically are really good ones. You've got stuff for Bluetooth. So you've got Spootooth, which is another tool which is used for spoofing Bluetooth, if the name didn't suggest it already. And yeah, a bunch of stuff already installed, so you don't have to install any of it again. So this is pretty useful, isn't it? This is the reason why we got Kali in the first place. The tools are pre-installed. So once you've got that, you have it. This is your Kali Linux virtual machine. To get out of it, you can either click on this button up top here and click on shutdown to stop the virtual machine, or you can go back down here and click on the cross button here, and it will give you an option to either save the machine state. So if you're doing something and you want to just close it for the time being, come back tomorrow, but you want all of your windows and your stuff to be preserved, you can select the first option. Second one will send a shutdown signal, which means it will send a signal to the virtual machine saying, okay, shut down now. And it's going to give you a few seconds before it turns off. And power off is just going to turn it off, just like force shutdown. So power off the machine, click OK, and it's gone. It's shut down. There you have it. So you've got a working Kali Linux virtual machine now. You've got a Linux machine on your PC, which you will be using as a base to do literally anything else that you will be using in cybersecurity. So there we have it. You have a virtual machine, a Linux, and all of these features are now yours. So it's brilliant. Now you don't need to use Windows anymore. For programming, let me show you W3 Schools real quick. We're going to go to W3 Schools. Oh, W3 Schools. There it is. And over here, as you can see, you've got a bunch of programming languages, sorry. So you've got JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Python, Java, PHP, all of these different ones. You've got C, C++, C#. Click on Python, and you've got so many sections that you need to learn in Python. And all of these are pretty interesting. So they've got like learning by examples. So it's got a try yourself thing where you can type the code on the left side and run it, and you will see the output in a terminal, as you can see on the right side. So you can do this manually inside your Linux machine if you want, which is a very fun exercise. So while you're learning this, open this website, not in Windows but in Linux, and then use the terminal to run this stuff, run the file. So you can type in something like the command python and then the name of your file, so main.py for example. So you can run this using this command in your terminal, and it will run that code which is inside the main.py file. So it's pretty useful. Or you can just run it here, it's up to you. So, programming, Linux, and a bunch of other things that we will speak in the next video. So, cool. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to look out for the next video, so subscribe to the channel so you can get a notification when I upload the next part. Now the next thing I'm probably going to be working on is the terminal, because it's very important as a Linux user to get familiar and get comfortable with the terminal. If you're not comfortable with the terminal, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be suffocating rather, to be doing things in Linux, because we are going to be using terminal quite a bit. So get comfortable with it. I'll help you in the next video. I'll make terminal become your friend. Look out for that video, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking till the end. This was my first video. If you have any suggestions or anything that I should get better at, or just any feedback in general, please leave a comment, like the video so that I know that you liked it. And I'll see you in the next one. I will leave this file in the description and you can use it and see it from there. I'm not going to use the file, I'm just going to copy paste this into my description. So yeah, you can get it from there. Thank you guys, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, bye.